Hey everybody, welcome back to Midwest Marksman's Bee channel. This is the K3PRO, which is a Carabiner multi-tool flashlight. I want to talk a little bit about the features and how it works. It is just about sundown, so it'll be appropriate to do some light testing, but while the light is still out, let me tell you about what you get with this. So you do have an integral clip with a strong spring inside. It's going to close the gate every time, and there is kind of a design there so that it's not going to easily allow things out of the gate unless you choose for it. So good lockup, good retention, I think, overall. You have your USB-C charging, so lightning charging. I really like that. I think everything should be USB-C nowadays. It's just my opinion. I love it. I'm probably a little biased because I'm an Android person. This does have a knife, and the knife is removable. It actually comes with a screwdriver. It's like a Torx or Star bit, and this is removable. So if you don't need a knife on your multi-tool, or you're not allowed to have one, you could just take this off. If it's loose, you can tighten it. If it's tight, you can loosen it. So it comes included with that tool, and it just folds out of the way. It doesn't exactly lock, but it does stop it from moving at all in this direction, so you can apply force downward. Now the blade itself is a little bit interesting. It's sort of like a Scandi style knife. I did find mine to be pretty toothy. It needs to be probably buffed up a little bit, but as far as a regular tool for cutting fishing line or just emergency tasks, regular tasks that you would have to do, even striking a ferro rod on the back of this could do all of that just fine, and especially, you know, box opening and the kind of average daily tasks that most of us do. So that's an interesting part of the light. Just folds away, stays there, and again, you can tighten this up if you want to make sure it never sneaks out on you. Moving on from there, you have a bottle opener. So if you have an old school glass bottle of Coke or something, you can pop that open. It does have kind of a redundant accessory here. There's another loop, so attaching things to it, like maybe attaching your keys to this side and attaching this side to your belt. I think that's kind of the way it was set up and designed. And then you have your function light, or your function button for your light, rather. And if I press that, you can see it's incredibly bright. It's actually a strange kind of bulb. I'm going to go through the functions here. You can see that there is more than one light. You have a light that can actually come out the side. Maybe if you're wearing this as a carabiner and you want it to point towards the ground or point towards you, ahead of you, you have this linked up to your backpack, perhaps on front of your chest. That might change which direction you want the light, and you have options with this. I'm just pressing the button itself to turn that on and off. You can see this has kind of a magnifier around it to amplify the image. It's a lot of spill, just a whole lot of spill coming out of this. So a very practical light for maybe camping, backpacking, an emergency use. We actually had the power go out here just yesterday, and this was what was by my wife on her bedside, and this was what was useful. We did need to run down to the basement because it was a strong storm. So she had this with her, and it gave a lot of comfort because this puts out huge lumens. You can knock it down a little bit with a second click. You can go to flash or emergency strobe if you want to have a seizure, and then I can just turn it off or turn it to the next setting for a slower set. And let's go to the very last one. So moving to that side light, it does have red and blue. You have to remember that if you were to run this in a vehicle or in some scenario where you're in front of people and they think you're the police, you could get in trouble with that. So don't mess around with red and blue lights in your car. Flashing red and blue is pretty much synonymous with police. In some jurisdictions, it's a really big deal if you have red and blue flashing on your property or in your car. So be careful about that, but it will get people's attention. And if you have an emergency, it's going to get some attention. Like I said, it's about sundown. So I'm going to go ahead and give the light a test because I think that's one of the most important features is the knife. You understand how a knife works and what you would do with a knife, whether that fits the bill for you or not. But the light itself might be one of the deal makers or breakers for some people out there. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time on the light and the different modes and just kind of show you, let's say about 30 yards, what you could expect for illumination if you're camping, backpacking, had an emergency situation, maybe needed to use this around your vehicle to look inside under the hood, something like that. So we'll wait just a few more minutes and then I'll run this when it's a little darker. Just getting ready to do a little night stock with a PCP. And so loading up this magazine using the side light. It's a nice, you know, pretty intense light actually, but it's a nice light for casting on a table or a flat surface, or even when I buckle this up to my pants, it actually works pretty good when I'm walking. Right, here's the light at those light colored popple trees are about 25 yards. That oak tree, which you can just barely make out, is about 37 yards from me right here. Over the shed, you can see that's what it's like with or without that main light. And I can bump down on the main light. Here's a stump pretty close. And I will go to the peak and then step down. There's that strobe function. Strobe is going to be brighter. Pretty effective. And now I've got just the side light, which is really great. If I clip this on my belt right now, walking down the stairs, and just kind of navigating around my yard, it's going to give me plenty of light to get around places like this. And now I got a side light on, but you can get the idea. I'll walk out a little bit further. Get away from those lights as they turn off. You can kind of see navigating this space right here, not difficult, using the side light now. I'm gonna run through this one more time. Main light, bump down, strobe, side light, and then we have the emergency light, which I guess if you're on the other side of it, you know, works pretty good if you need to signal for emergency.